Imagine a time long, long ago. Over 2,000 years have passed since then. China was not one big country as we know it today. Instead, it was made up of many smaller states, all ruled by different leaders. These states often fought with each other, which was rather dreadful for everyone involved. But their biggest worry came from the north. Fierce nomadic tribes on horseback would often ride down, looking to raid the farmlands. It was a constant threat, a shadow that loomed over the people. Something had to be done to protect their homes and their way of life. It was a simple idea really, but a truly enormous one. The idea was to build walls, not just little fences but massive, strong barriers. At first, each state built its own separate sections of wall. These early walls were a start, a way to mark their territory and keep intruders out. But then, a very powerful man came along. His name was Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of the United China. He had a grand vision. He wanted to connect all these smaller walls into one gigantic one. This wasn't just about defense anymore, it was a statement. It was a way of saying, this is our land and we are one people, protected and strong. It was an extraordinary ambition, wasn't it? So the main reason for the Great Wall was protection. It was like a very, very long shield for the entire northern border of the Chinese Empire. The wall was designed to stop the skilled horsemen from the north from simply galloping in. It also served as a kind of raised road, allowing soldiers and supplies to move quickly along the frontier, which was terribly clever. Watchtowers were built all along its length, like eyes watching over the vast landscape. From these towers, guards could spot an approaching enemy from miles away, and light signal fires to send messages down the line. A puff of smoke by day or a bright flame by night could travel hundreds of miles in just a few hours. This incredible structure wasn't just a physical barrier, it was a psychological one too. It separated the settled agricultural civilization of China from the roaming nomadic cultures of the steppes. It was a line drawn on the earth, dividing two completely different worlds. For the farmers inside the wall, it meant a sense of security, a feeling that they could plant their crops and raise their families in peace. For the raiders on the outside, it was a formidable obstacle, a symbol of the empire's power and determination to defend itself. The wall was born from a need for safety, but it grew into something much, much more. One can't help but wonder, who on earth built this colossal thing? Well, it wasn't just one group of people. Building the Great Wall was a project that spanned many centuries and involved millions of hands. Under the first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, the workforce was enormous and made up of different kinds of people. There were hundreds of thousands of soldiers who were tasked with both building and guarding the wall. They were the main force, the backbone of this immense construction project. It must have been incredibly hard work, stationed in such remote and often dangerous places, but it wasn't only soldiers. A vast number of ordinary people, mostly peasants, were forced to leave their farms and families to work on the wall. This was a form of tax. Instead of paying with money, they paid with their labor. Imagine being told you had to go and build a wall for years on end, far from everything you knew. And sadly, convicts and prisoners were also sent to the wall to carry out their sentences through hard labor. For them, it was a place of punishment, with grueling conditions and very little hope of ever returning home. It's a rather sobering thought, isn't it? The wall was built on the sweat and sacrifice of millions. The materials they used were wonderfully practical, sourced right from the land around them. In the east, where there were mountains, they quarried huge blocks of stone to build strong foundations and outer walls. In other areas, they used a technique called rammed earth. They would build a wooden frame, fill it with layers of soil, gravel, and clay, and then pound it down until it was as hard as rock. It's an ancient method, but remarkably effective. For the sections built later during the Ming dynasty, they used bricks and a special mortar made from rice flour and lime, which made the wall incredibly strong and durable. The building process itself was a monumental challenge. There were no modern machines, no cranes or trucks. Everything had to be done by hand. Workers would carry heavy stones on their backs or in baskets. They used simple tools like ropes, pulleys, and wheelbarrows to move materials up the steep mountainsides. It was slow, dangerous, and back-breaking work. Many people died from accidents, exhaustion, or illness during the construction. It's why the wall is sometimes called the longest cemetery on Earth. A sad but powerful reminder of the human cost of creating such a wonder. Trying to grasp the sheer size of the Great Wall is almost impossible. It's not just one continuous wall, you see. It's a whole system of walls, watchtowers, fortresses, and other defenses. The official length, including all its branches, is a staggering 21,196 kilometers, or about 13,171 miles. That's more than half the distance around the entire planet. It's so long that if you were to walk its entire length, it would take you well over a year. It truly boggles the mind. The wall stretches across the northern part of China like a great stone dragon, sleeping across the mountains. It winds its way through 15 different provinces of China. It starts near the sea at a place called Shanhaiguan, known as the Old Dragon's Head, where the wall dramatically meets the Bohai Sea. From there it travels westwards, climbing over rugged mountains, crossing vast deserts, and meandering through grassy plains. One of the most famous and well-preserved sections is near Beijing, which is the part most visitors get to see. But vast stretches of the wall are in remote, wild areas, crumbling back into the earth from which they came. These unrestored sections have a haunting beauty all their own. The wall we see today is not the original one built by the first emperor. The Great Wall has been rebuilt, modified and extended by many different dynasties throughout China's long history. The most substantial and well-preserved sections were actually built during the Ming dynasty, from the 14th to the 17th centuries. They were the ones who perfected the brick and stone construction that makes the wall so iconic. So when you stand on the wall, you are standing on layers of history, a project that took not years, but millennia to complete. It's a living museum of engineering through the ages. There's a popular myth that you can see the Great Wall from the moon. I'm afraid that's just a lovely story. Astronauts have confirmed it's not true. It's simply too narrow to be seen from that far away without aid. However, it can be seen from low Earth orbit, which is still quite impressive. The fact that this myth exists tells you something about how much the wall has captured the world's imagination. It's a structure so immense, so audacious that people believe it must be visible from space. It speaks volumes about its scale and its place in our shared human story. A structure as old and as vast as the Great Wall is bound to be filled with stories. One of the most famous and heartbreaking legends is that of Meng Jiangnu. Her husband was taken away to work on the wall shortly after they were married. After hearing nothing from him for years, she traveled all the way to the wall to find him, bringing him warm clothes for the winter. When she finally arrived, she was told that her husband had died from exhaustion and been buried somewhere within the wall itself. Her grief was so immense that she wept for days, and her sorrowful cries caused a section of the wall to collapse, revealing her husband's body. This tale, whether true or not, became a powerful symbol of the suffering of the common people. It highlights the immense human sacrifice that was poured into the wall's construction. It reminds us that behind the grand imperial project were millions of individual lives, families torn apart, and endless hardship. These stories are just as much a part of the wall as its bricks and stones. They give it a soul, a human dimension that makes it more than just an architectural marvel. It's a monument to resilience, but also to profound loss. Today, the Great Wall of China no longer serves its original military purpose. The world has changed, and walls are no longer the most effective way to defend a country's borders. Yet, its importance has not faded. It has transformed into something else entirely. It is now a powerful symbol of the Chinese nation and its long, enduring history. It represents the strength, perseverance, and ingenuity of the Chinese people. For visitors from all over the world, it is a breathtaking sight, a connection to a past that feels both ancient and incredibly real. It's a place that makes you feel very small, in the best possible way. Its legacy is truly global. In 1987, it was made a UNESCO World Heritage Site, recognized as a treasure belonging to all of humanity. It teaches us about history, about engineering, and about the incredible things people can achieve when they work together, even under the most difficult circumstances. The Great Wall is a journey through time. Walking on its stones, you can almost hear the echoes of the soldiers, the workers, and the legends that inhabit it. It stands as a silent, magnificent testament to one of the most ambitious undertakings in human history, forever winding its way across the land and through our imaginations.